A lot of people write to me saying they've tried everything to lose belly fat and just can't see results. And I get it, because I've been there too. I used to wake up feeling bloated, tired, and frustrated like nothing was working. That's when I discovered a simpler, more realistic way to attack the problem. What changed everything for me wasn't a miracle diet or extreme workouts. It was realizing that the secret lies in adjusting small habits and following a plan with a clear beginning, middle, and end. And most importantly, one that respects your body, your rhythm, and your reality. Today, I'm going to show you the exact steps I use to burn belly fat effectively, even after 40. Yes, it's possible to do this without starving, without spending hours in the gym, and without giving up your routine. It all starts with smart and strategic decisions. And if you're really committed, I have an exclusive guide we developed especially for you. This week, it's available with a special condition, but only for a limited time. I'll tell you how to access it at the end of the video. For years, lifters believed heavy, low-rep training was the only way to build serious muscle. The classic 6 to 12 rep range was seen as the hypertrophy zone, with anything higher dismissed as endurance work. This model, heavy for strength, moderate for size, light for endurance, has been passed down for generations. But is it accurate? Recent science suggests the real driver of muscle growth isn't just the weight, but how hard you push each set, especially how close you get to muscular failure. If effort is the key, then maybe a wide range of rep and weight combinations can work. Let's look at the research that started to change everything. In 2012, Dr. Stuart Phillips and his research team at McMaster University set out to answer a question that had puzzled gym-goers and scientists alike for decades. They wanted to test the long-standing belief that you have to lift heavy weights to build big muscles, a mantra repeated in gyms all over the world. To do this, they recruited a group of young men and split them into two training groups. The first group followed the traditional approach, lifting heavy weights at about 80% of their 1-rep max, performing 8 to 12 reps per set, and always pushing to failure. The second group did something very different. They used much lighter weights, just 30% of their 1-rep max, but performed 20 to 30 reps per set, also going all the way to failure. Both groups trained their legs 3 times a week for a total of 10 weeks, sticking to their assigned routines with impressive consistency. When the results came in, they were nothing short of shocking. Despite the huge difference in weight and reps, both groups gained the same amount of muscle mass. This meant that lifting lighter weights for higher reps, so long as you pushed yourself to the point of muscular failure, was just as effective for building muscle as lifting heavy. The fitness community was stunned. This single study turned decades of conventional wisdom upside down and sparked heated debates in gyms and online forums everywhere. The real secret, it turned out, wasn't about how much weight you lifted, but about pushing each set to the point where you simply couldn't do another rep with good form. True muscular failure. This groundbreaking research opened the door to a completely new way of thinking about muscle growth, making effective training more accessible to everyone, regardless of the weights they had available. But a big question remained. Would this approach work for experienced lifters too, or was it just for beginners? Let's find out. Critics argued the 2012 study only worked because the subjects were beginners. In 2016, Dr. Brad Schoenfeld tested the theory on experienced lifters. One group trained heavy, 8-12 reps, the other light, 25-35 reps, both to failure 3 times a week for 8 weeks. The result? Both groups gained similar muscle size in biceps, triceps, and quads. This confirmed that pushing to failure works for both beginners and seasoned lifters. The weight matters less than the effort you put in. This gives us more flexibility and more tools in our training. Old theory said heavy weights were needed to recruit fast-twitch, growth-prone muscle fibers. But muscle biopsies from these studies showed both heavy and light training to failure grew both slow-twitch, type 1, and fast-twitch, type 2 fibers. When you push a light set to failure, you eventually recruit all available muscle fibers, just like with heavy weights. The path is different. One uses high load, the other high fatigue, but the end result is the same: full muscle fiber recruitment. This debunks the myth that only heavy weights build big, powerful muscles. As long as you train hard enough, all your muscle fibers get the growth signal. The real secret is effort, not just the number on the bar. If both heavy and light weights build muscle, does it matter which you choose? For strength, heavy weights are still king. Studies show that training with heavier loads leads to much greater increases in 1-rep max strength. Lifting heavy trains your nervous system and builds a foundation for future progress. Getting stronger lets you use more weight in all rep ranges, increasing your long-term growth potential. So, while you can build muscle with light weights, skipping heavy lifting means missing out on serious strength gains. The smartest programs use both heavy work for strength, light work for variety, and joint relief. Don't make it an either-or, use both for best results. Science says both light and heavy loads can build muscle as long as you push close to failure. But when you step into the gym, things aren't always so straightforward. The research might say the results are similar, but the experience of training with high reps versus heavy weights can feel completely different. What works in a lab doesn't always translate perfectly to real-world workouts, where motivation, fatigue, and mental toughness come into play. High rep sets to failure are brutally uncomfortable. They burn, spike your heart rate, and test your pain tolerance. The lactic acid builds up, your muscles scream, and your lungs work overtime. It's not just your strength being tested, but your willpower to keep going when everything in your body tells you to stop. Heavy sets are over quickly. High rep sets can last a minute or more and feel like cardio. That extended time under tension makes every second feel longer, and the mental challenge ramps up as the set drags on. Many people stop high rep sets early because of discomfort, not true muscle failure. The mind often gives out before the muscles do, especially when the burn becomes overwhelming. If you don't push through the burn, you won't get the full growth stimulus from light weights. The last few reps, when it hurts the most, are where the real progress happens. This isn't a knock on high rep training, just a reality check. It's mentally and physically tough. It takes grit to keep going, and not everyone is willing to push that far outside their comfort zone. Know your limits, and be honest about whether you're really reaching failure. Tracking your progress and reflecting on your effort can help you push further each time. Choose the style you can push hardest with, and don't be afraid to mix it up. Ultimately, the best results come from consistency, effort, and finding what keeps you motivated to train hard, session after session. Why do both heavy and light training work? Because they target the two main drivers of muscle growth: mechanical tension and metabolic stress. Heavy low-rep sets maximize mechanical tension, your muscles straining against big loads. Light high-rep sets to failure create massive metabolic stress, the pump and burn from metabolite buildup. Both pathways trigger muscle growth, just in different ways. Heavy sets are tension-dominant, light sets are stress-dominant, but both styles overlap. Heavy sets create some stress, and light sets create tension at the end. The best results come from using both, not picking sides. So what's the smartest way to train? Combine both methods. Start your workouts with heavy compound lifts in the 5-10 rep range to build strength and tension. Then add lighter high-rep sets, 15-30 reps, with short rests to chase the pump and maximize metabolic stress. Use isolation exercises or lighter versions of your main lifts for this. This approach hits all the growth pathways and keeps your training fresh. It's more effective and more fun than sticking to one rep range forever. Variety keeps you motivated and your muscles growing. How do you put this into practice? Here are some proven techniques. Drop sets. After your last heavy set, immediately reduce the weight and rep out to failure. Repeat for extra burn. Reverse pyramid training. Start heavy for low reps, then drop the weight and increase reps each set. High rep back off sets. Finish an exercise with a single lighter set for 25-40 reps to failure. Structure your workout. Begin with 1-2 heavy compound lifts, then 2-3 isolation or machine exercises in high-rep, short-rest style. The key is intensity. Light weights only work if you push to your absolute limit. Mix and match these methods to keep your training challenging and effective. Always focus on effort, not just the numbers. Let's see how this looks in a real workout. Here's a sample chest session. Start with barbell bench press. 3 heavy sets of 5-8 reps, resting 2-3 minutes. Move to incline dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8-12 reps, resting 90 seconds. Next, do a pec deck fly or cable crossover drop set, 10-15 reps to failure, drop the weight and go to failure again. Finish with push-ups, 3 sets to absolute failure, resting 45-60 seconds. This structure hits both tension and stress for maximum growth. You can adapt this template for any muscle group. The key is combining heavy and light work in every session. So, what's the verdict? You don't have to choose between light and heavy weights. The best results come from combining both. Heavy sets for strength, light sets for metabolic stress. Build your workouts around heavy compound lifts, then add high-rep finishers or drop sets for the pump. This approach targets all the pathways for muscle growth and keeps your training balanced. Try mixing up your rep ranges and see what works for you. Let me know your experiences in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.